Have you noticed lately how hard it is to get another person's attention? I want to share a formula for you today to break through that distraction and increase the amount of engagement that you get with others. I'm Janet Harvey, CEO of inviteCHANGE, and I work with leaders all over the world who are facing very common dilemmas in the workplace. The one we're going to talk about today is, what do you do when people, team members, stakeholders have apathy about what you're working on, and how do you move them to inspiration? So, three steps for you to move from apathy to inspiration in any workplace relationship that you're in. Let's build on your strength. Active listening is one of those things I'm sure you've learned a lot about along the way, but I want to challenge your assumptions that maybe you don't know everything there is to know about active listening that comes from the coaching profession. I'm sure as a manager of people or a leader of project teams that you desire to have a great deal of influence and impact, and oftentimes that's the only way you can get things done. And so, what's important here is to realize we must listen beyond the words. There's so much more a person is communicating to us. Now, you might think you know things like body language. However, let's talk about when active listening extends beyond the words and you begin to receive the experience of the other person. So, experiencing another person means you're observing, it means you are intuiting. You're likely also sensing. You may not have a whole lot of practice at paying attention to all the wide range of ways that you experience another person, and this is your opportunity. Now, why would we want to do this? Because we make a lot of assumptions about what somebody means in what they say, and we don't check them out. We make an assumption, we therefore take an action based on it, and then we're disappointed because we didn't really understand what it was the other person was meaning in what they said to us. So now add on top of that the fact that it's really hard to get people's attention. And here's the secret sauce for you. If you give more attention to perceiving what someone is meaning and you get curious so that you don't operate from assumptions, it's a game changer. If you needed just a little more incentive, being curious in a dialogue with someone else is easy to do from perceiving, and it has this other element, which is it shows the other person how much you care. And boy, does that pay big dividends. So let's have an example here for a moment. You have someone you're talking with, and all of a sudden, because you're practicing perceiving, you notice a smile comes across their face, and all of a sudden they're animated with their hands. Now, what assumption are you making right now? Probably that you think they're excited and there's something that they're happy about. But what if actually what they're communicating to you is the smile is their nervousness and they're uncomfortable and they're not exactly sure if you're following what they're talking about? The best way for you to not be in assumption land is to ask the question, wow, I'm noticing there's a smile coming across your face and all of a sudden your hands are telling the story. What's actually valuable about what you're describing to me? That's just an example for you to get curious, to have the person tell you the specifics so that either it affirms that they're happy, or this is the problem with body language. We assume what it means, and cross-culturally, it doesn't mean the same thing everywhere. And just imagine if the person is nervous, you've asked and they're able to relax and say, you know what, I'm feeling a little uncertain about this. So now fast forward, you want to move apathy to inspiration. You just found out what was in the way, the reason somebody was feeling apathy and not getting on board with the idea. So that's the formula. If you perceive that someone's energy is shifting, get curious about what it is so you can bust through assumption and now have a foundation from which to build the path to inspiration. We have a download for you to take a little 30-day challenge. And by practicing this perceiving skill we've explored today, you'll find a way to move apathy to inspiration just like it's second nature. And this is one of the 7 dilemmas that we commonly see in the workplace that all leaders are challenged by. So if you liked this one, there's other videos for you to take a moment and refresh yourself and see where else you might up-level your game with your peers, with your team members, and any important stakeholders on any project you're engaged in.